everything. Gone. Just like that. From the wharf to the wilds. You gotta hand it to the Calamity. It did the job quick. But it missed a few spots. Didn't it?
I really wish I could hand you a controller connected to an Xbox 360 that's running Bastion, a set of headphones, and then tell you, play this game right now because it is awesome. That would be a much less daunting task than trying to describe what exactly makes Bastion so great. Part of it is the surprisingly layered, heartfelt narrative and the totally unique manner in which it is delivered. Another part of it is the satisfying and varied combat. And of course, the absolutely gorgeous art design and killer soundtrack certainly don't hurt either. Bastion's story lands somewhere between an awe-invoking children's tale and one that subtly but respectfully explores a wide range of adult themes. It's a line that not many narratives can successfully straddle. At first, the game's premise may seem deceptively simple. You play a silent protagonist, simply referred to as the Kid, who awakens to learn that his homeland of Caelondia has just been the victim of an apocalyptic event known as the Calamity. You make your way to the Bastion, a refuge for the people of Caelondia, which the Kid must help rebuild. I don't want to give too much away here since revealing the story is such a huge part of the experience, but suffice it to say that what follows is a very mature, very heartfelt adventure. It might be a bit of a slow burn at first, but as the events of Bastion unfold, the veil on the backstory of the Kid, his companions, and the world they inhabit is slowly lifted. You'll be surprised at how much there is to take in about the world of Bastion. The game explores themes of friendship, loss, love, war, religion, racism, and a whole lot more. An appreciation of these elements is certainly not a requirement to enjoy Bastion, but if you feel compelled to invest the emotional energy to dig deeper, you'll find plenty there to appreciate. But maybe the most standout aspect of Bastion is the narration through which it conveys its story. Rarely do games fully embrace the potential of interactive storytelling like this. Bastion wonderfully marries storytelling and gameplay through the wise and somewhat mysterious narrator Rux. His voice guides you through the entirety of Bastion. Oftentimes his narration is completely contextual to your actions. For example, if you use up all your health potions, he'll say something like, "The Kid ran out of health potions." Or if you fall in battle, he'll say, "I lost my train of thought."
Ground forms up under his feet as it pointing the way. He don't stop to wonder why. Finds his lifelong friend just lying in the road. Well, it's a touching reunion.
It won't take long before you're absorbing history lessons about Caelondia and how the current state of the world came to be. By the end of Bastion, it was difficult for me not to feel totally invested in the story. At its core, Bastion is a pretty straightforward action RPG. As you make your way through levels, you'll spend most of your time hacking, slashing, and shooting enemies. There are 12 weapons to acquire in total, some ranged and some melee, 2 of which you can carry at any one time. For the most part, each weapon feels varied in both feel and function. Along with the 2 weapons, you can equip one special skill. Some of these skills are tied to specific weapons, but others, such as trip mines or grenades, can be used with any weapon setup. You pick up these special skills from a variety of different places. Some are learned from collectibles you scavenge in levels, some can be purchased, and some are earned from completing weapon-specific challenges. In fact, as you make your way through the story, you can earn access to different weapon challenges. Some involve killing a number of enemies in a specific amount of time, or taking out a section of targets with the least number of shots possible. Each of these is completely optional, but may help you understand which weapons work best in which situations. Think of them as in-depth, expert-level tutorials. The campaign also features 3 different wave-based survival levels called Who Knows Where. These, much like the weapon challenges, are completely optional and aren't required to finish the storyline. However, I can't recommend enough that you take the time to complete them. Not only are they challenging and fun, but with the completion of each wave, the narrator drops some more detailed backstory on the game's main characters. The Bastion itself is another appropriately important part of Bastion. The Bastion acts as your hub world that you revisit after each level or challenge. As you complete levels, you find cores that allow you to build new structures, each of which can change different aspects of the gameplay. For example, the Forge allows you to upgrade weapons, the Saloon lets you swap out and add different perk-like tonics that can provide the Kid with various upgrades, and the Shrine allows you to activate different idols that can increase the game's difficulty by allowing the enemies to regenerate health or boosting the amount of damage they deliver. And having these idols active during the game grants an XP bonus. It's probably good that these idols exist because one of my small qualms with Bastion is the odd challenge curve. The most difficult sections occur toward the start, before you acquire any upgrades. As you progress, the game becomes significantly easier, and if you go through again after unlocking the New Game Plus mode, it's almost too easy. My other complaint about Bastion certainly isn't game ruining by any means, but occasionally the fixed isometric camera angle can make it hard to tell if you're walking on a platform or into a bottomless hole. There were more than a few occasions when I accidentally fell off the edge of the world. Fortunately, the game is pretty forgiving, only costing you a few points of damage when this happens. Bastion is gorgeous. There's a hand-painted quality to the game's watercolored, slightly anime-inspired look. The abstract representation of the world of Caelondia is an interesting and unique approach to the game's visual theme. Ethereal backgrounds, strange creatures, and a color palette bursting with variety really help to invoke a dreamlike atmosphere that is fully complemented by the game's storyline and soundtrack. I'd be totally remiss if I failed to mention the sound in Bastion. The game's music is awesome, perhaps the best soundtrack I've heard in a video game all year. It features a pretty eclectic collection of different musical genres, from acoustic ballads to symphonic electronica to ambient post-rock punctuated by Middle Eastern sitars. There's one particularly breathtaking track. Trust me, you'll know the one I'm talking about when you hear it. Voice actor Logan Cunningham steals the show here as the game's narrator. His deep, soothing tones are not only well delivered, but are a constant source of the magical aura that permeates the game's every facet. He'll make you feel like a little kid all over again with his storybook delivery.
We become fast friends. Calamity has that effect on people.
Microsoft's Xbox Live Summer of Arcade has quickly become synonymous with high-quality original games, but it seems like every year there's one standout title from the rest. Braid, Shadow Complex, Limbo, these games come to mind. Maybe I'm jumping the gun a little bit here, but I'm pretty confident in saying that, when all is said and done, this year's gem will be Bastion. It's once in a blue moon that a game this special comes along.